What's up, y'all? My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Okay. The title of this episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast is It's Not Going to End. So I thought I'd just kind of, sit on that a little bit of guitar intro as if like, is this guy ever going to actually resolve this musical number that he's counted to? So this is a steel string guitar and I play nylon strings with a radius somewhere around half size. This is also full size, meaning this isn't what I normally play, but yeah, so In the Image Clothing Company podcast is where you're at currently, brother or sister. Welcome. Wow, today's the 21st of April, 2025. This is episode 107 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Those of you listening in audio only, this person that's hearing this right now, whoever you are, you might not know how, physically expressive I am as well as what you can hear. But In the Image Clothing Company podcast is also available in video plus audio form as one of the forms you can view it in. So, yeah, there's audio only as the other form you can view it in. So what's up, y'all? Here's what I'm going to say is the things that I do, meaning we're going to have an intro and then we'll get into the discussion because we do that. So these are sometimes structured and other times not so well. And I'd say for the majority of the time, there's not that much structure going on here. But we do what we do, and so this is that. There's 4 sides to us in the Image Clothing Company as a whole. This side here, we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. Is it bold? Am I saying things that I'm not allowed to, depending on who you're trying to please? I'm trying to please God, and boy, am I sinful. So here's the thing. It's the truth of all things. It's not some religion we talk about here, but we just discuss what's really going on around us, because we're all on the same earth. We have another fourth of us, which is In the Image Clothing Company, the main side, where it all started. What we do physically is address the human body's natural function, as I'm addressing the alignment of this video recording device that also picks up audio as well, as we discussed a minute ago there, give or take. It could have been a little bit longer than a minute from this point back. Talk about specificity. Yeah, so we keyword allow the human body to work, because it's just a mechanical machine placed on an earth with gravity pulling straight down on it. There's a sternum, a spine, a trachea, a nose, all in the center of the body, the jaw as well, but it naturally stabilizes the entire body. And if we place clothing onto us, then it can potentially alter the body's only workings. There's a neutral within every joint, and it has to be there, because there's a direction that's outside of that neutral, but it always has to come back to the only relaxed, natural place that it would be in. The thing about the human body is relaxed and activated are kind of synonyms, because the body only ever works as a whole, and it should be mobile and limber, but entirely working always. That's something that some people are quite out of touch with for things that aren't their fault. And so we get down to the actual truth of why people are going through pain and chronic patterning. And it applies to every human to ever live. I'm not only just speaking slow for those in audio only, I'm doing something quite strange with my hands. Here's the thing, dude. We talk about a lot of stuff, though, on the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, physically with the human body, standing, sleeping, eating, hydration, walking, sitting, natural, okay? There's another fourth of us in the Image Clothing Company, music, where I show sizings and setups of guitars that aren't quite how this one is. The hands only work one way, and that's what we use to play the guitar. Those of us who do. I'm one of them. And the hands are also essentially the shoulders of our bodies, as the feet are essentially the hips. And so we can't alter the body, and we show how to let that be the case. We have another fourth of us, which is in the Image Clothing Company dogs, our newest fourth. There's potentially unnatural materials in all sorts of dog accessories in modern day. Collars, leashes, harnesses, imbalanced and altering the dog in all the ways that we will really get in depth with when that has more content placed. Yeah, on that fourth of the company. Dehydrated foods for dogs, similar to human beings, just never happened in the past. It's very unnatural. So we let dogs stay natural. Okay? Clothing for everybody has to sit in one location to allow the body to work. Yeah, I guess there's more context on In the Image Clothing Company dogs that I'm supposed to say right now. And I've said it, but I'm going to be breeding standard poodles. And I'm so excited for that. So, yeah, stick around if you'd like, or stop back in, or, it's going to be so cool. It's really cool to see how this is all unfolding, as I've been saying, and I'm really grateful for it. So, yeah. That's huge, dude. That's really huge, because that's, yeah. I love it. Like, the amount of love that I have for that specific dog breed, purebred standard poodles. Yeah, it's gonna be really great. It's gonna be yeah. It's gonna be so cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, because it's not only just a fourth of our company that we're just, giving information on how to let dogs stay natural, which is like the slogan for that fourth of the company. But my personal life as well, Evan Strong, I will just have that be a huge part of my life. Birthing puppies. I mean, not personally, but, as in, the dogs that I will be in possession of are the things that will be, producing more dogs. And that's huge, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There's a lot. Yeah, I didn't know what life could really be growing up, and now it's, I can see clearly now. I got baptized twice. No joke. The second time around is the episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast where I discussed my second baptism, which is quite the unique experience to have. Wow. No, it's serious. And you can just tell, man. I don't care if you can't. It hits me though. I love dogs, man. Something about standard poodles. And that something is that I am meant to have them. And that's why I feel the way that I do when I feel the way that I do. Right? That hits. I wasn't having any kind of intention before I filmed this out of my doings to like sit on this that long. But, it's just the start, brother. Man. Family, dude. I mean, our poodles, meaning me and my families, I guess, when my family comes, right? But, yeah, it's not some kind of like hobby or side thing or pet. It's, dude, I'm so excited. I am so excited. And then, they'll be helping with the whole fourth of our company as well because, oh my gosh, dude, because of the gift of video, right? Oh my gosh, dude. I I don't I don't get this kind of way over things, brother. very few things in my life do I actually even care about at all. And then the things that I do, dude, yeah, man. I'm so excited. And it's so funny because it's like, what did I say a few minutes back about the structure that's sometimes not here under in the Image Clothing Company? Because Evan Strong is the founder, and talk about lackadaisical. Although the word is actually casuality. That's the word that I usually say when I say that word. But here's the thing. Poodles, brother. Poodles. Oh my gosh. And we have things like that, in our lives, and it's for the reason that I just said a minute ago. It's because we're meant to do them. Some stuff that some people might not care at all about, great. To somebody else, it's, you know, huge because they were sent here to do it. And there you go, dude. I'm so grateful, man. All right, brother. I just yawned. Not only did I just do it, but I was still doing it as I was talking about it happening. That's a rarity for me. I don't yawn. It's like a relaxation. I said the word lackadaisical when I was not really intending on that being the word, but in a sense, I mean, it's like this level of relaxing, like that phrase settling in. That's seriously how it is. No joke, man. So, and I've been watching some poodle shows from past years. Been researching, breeders of dogs and how people do it. I mean, this is, as we say, it's as real as it gets, dude. Yeah. Man, brother. It's really great. Yeah. Those dogs, dude. Yeah. I feel prompted to say this. And I feel like it's, me personally, I feel like it's kind of, well, whatever I could feel like it's kind of, I know, yeah, I feel like, my first standard poodle, her name's going to be Nita. I know it. And what's that all about? And why is that important to say on in the Image Clothing Company podcast? Because I'm being prompted to. So, yikes. I don't know. I feel so prompted to talk quite a lot about the standard poodles that will be coming. Nita, Nita. So stick around, right? If it's up to you. But that's gonna be what's gonna be. So, dude, I'm talking about real, right? I mean, when I'm talking, I'm speaking on real things. So I'm talking about the real. I have this level of like, if you're seeing it, dude, I can't explain to you, and it doesn't matter if I could, but I'm trying. So what I am saying is, I'm so peaceful about all this, and it's such a strange goodness. Standard poodles, what's up with that? Stick around, change lives. I mean, gosh darn it, change lives in so many ways, dude. I mean, this is the one of the realest places you can go as far as a place to go, dude. If I'm self-proclaiming something, you're right. I mean, what's this about? Talk about putting in the hands of the one who's actually in charge. Because, oh my gosh, I was walking around today. I do a lot of walking, and Saw some beautiful poodle mixes out there. Man. Purebreds. That's what we'll have, but, you know, man. Yeah. Dude, it's like I mean, what's crazy about it is, it's like I can't get through a sentence, man. I just want to say all that I need to about it. And I don't know how to put it into words right now. Because I think the best phrase to say that's kind of explaining how I'm feeling right now is time will tell. Because I know what I've said here, as far as the reason I've said these things is because I know they will happen when it comes to my ownership and breeding of standard poodles. But I personally don't even know the extent of what that's going to look like. And that's what's coming through with how I'm not really even fully finishing my sentences, and you can tell just how much it's hitting me, because I think it's going to be such a shock to me, you know, in such a like expansive kind of way. All that comes with my standard poodles, man. I want to be so surrendered, dude, that things make no sense. Because the episode title is It's Not Going to End. And what I was planning on talking about is, things that are different than this. And it's already been such a discussion on this. And I think it's so cool because we can never actually know for sure what's going to happen in our lives, man. And I don't think there was ever a time in my life up until, past month and a half that I even could have imagined breeding dogs. So I want to get over myself, because I'm kind of in my head about it, like, man, is this even a podcast episode at this point? I'm kind of just sitting here dumbfounded over the revelation that I've been given by you, right? As I'm praying through this, I'm like, Father, I don't want this to be about me. I'm not sitting here just like sharing how excited I am about something for the sake of, any reason that could like matter out of me wanting it to. Because I don't talk about myself. It's so strange, man, because this is what I'm supposed to be saying right now. And that's kind of what I feel like I mean, right? Because it's not really my words that are coming out. But by when I said we can just never actually expect what's going to happen, yeah, right? There's a reason that I'm documenting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like uncomfortable with the level of love that I'm given. It doesn't make sense to me, dude, because I really never thought much about dogs growing up. I never thought about where dogs really came from. You know what I mean? Like, as far as breeders, I kind of just maybe thought it was pet stores, right? You just go to a pet store and sure, somebody's breeding the dogs, but I kind of saw pet stores like grocery stores, but they just like produced animals. That's really how I thought about it growing up. But no, there's dog breeders and it's a whole lifestyle. And it's weird because I was actually just at a dance that I didn't expect to even be at. Normally on Monday nights within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we call it family home evening, and we get together and just do something normally. And it ended up being a dance. I didn't do any dancing, but I stood there in the, place for at least a couple hours. Well, since basically right when it started until everything was cleaned up. And after I was driving home, just, yeah, not a far drive at all, but sitting in the car, I was like, man, there's something I need to do tonight. And it felt like such an impactful thing. But I didn't really know for sure what it was. I'm making notes when things come to my mind for video topics. Any four sides of the company. Well, in the Image Clothing Company music, normally it's just when I feel that I'm going to play some music. And I haven't really been since I don't have the type of guitar that I play currently. But I didn't really know what I was going to make necessarily, content-wise, for In the Image Clothing Company. But I knew that I was going to come home and whatever it was going to be was going to be big. And now here I am speaking like this. It's not so common for me to speak this slowly. Yeah, because there's a level of surprise to this, if I were to say. And kind of like a gift type surprise. I don't like surprises. But this is like a comforting surprise to me. And it's surprising to me that because that's what I was saying a minute ago. I'm saying this so unpodcast-like. And it's almost like I feel like it's too much about me. Because I don't want things to be about me that don't need to be. And really it's a surprise to me that I'm even sitting here speaking this. And I want to say it right for the sake of what God needs it to be used as. Yeah. And I'm glad that that was said earlier. I think that's pretty apparent by the things that I've talked about. There's 106 episodes before this one. A lot of, I don't care about much at all, dude. And so when something takes me back like this, that's what I mean by the surprise. Yeah. Standard poodles is what I mean. Purebred. Dogs. Yeah. because there's not much in my life that's ever felt right, man. Like, it's I I've never had any kind of plan. And yeah, I don't care. I love change so much, and I'm so sporadic and stuff. I don't know, man. But what's so funny about this is I wasn't planning on talking about dogs. Oh my gosh. And that's why it's that word surprise, because I don't, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a lot to this life, man. There's a lot of, yeah. So I'm gonna be breeding standard poodles. I don't want to be redundant. I don't want people to feel like they need to care about what I'm going to do if it's not like benefiting them, right? But that's what I mean is, the whole prayer that I'm having right now, like, God, what are other people getting from me saying this right now? Let me give a little bit of explanation. I don't talk to people in my life outside of In the Image Clothing Company content. I don't talk to people. I don't care to. So I don't need anybody to even know or care about my dogs. And so this feels weird. It feels so right. That's what I mean. It's not me. That's earlier I said it's not my words. I wouldn't ever care to. Yeah, I don't care, dude. I don't care what anyone cares about. I don't care if anyone cares about what I'm doing. And I don't know if you're watching in visual plus audio, you can see like how I don't even know how to. I don't know. I don't. I just think it's such a man. I mean, I would watch people on the internet growing up, and like people would make videos they called daily vlogs. And the people that I would personally watch were people who were just doing stuff that just seemed so real. And the feelings that I would get from their videos is how I'm personally feeling when I'm talking about standard poodles. And so that's what I'm saying when I don't know the fullness of what all this is really going to. I said the word expanse earlier, like the expansiveness of this. Because, yeah, I'll have poodles that I'm breeding, and we have In the Image Clothing Company dogs, and I can show people the litters as they come. But how big all that's really going to be is something I don't currently even know by any stretch of understanding that could be imagined. And this is what we talk about when we. Yeah. Well, when I say stuff like, yeah, I don't really have much. I mean, I don't. This is real. The level of speechlessness. I don't care for somebody to think that I'm dumbfounded over something. I don't care to have anybody care about anything that I'm doing. Anybody. I don't care. I don't have like friends in my life that I keep up to date with what I'm doing. I don't talk to my own mother about what I do, or I don't care. And so this is weird for me because I don't know. It's like there's a level of uncomfortability, but in a good way, that I'm feeling about this. And even when I'm saying, it's like I'm not finishing these thoughts that are coming out. I don't, right? Like, this is I don't even know, dude. Yeah. I mean, I literally get speechless when I step out of the way, man. And I think that's a big thing about what I was saying earlier. Gosh, I can't even finish a sentence. And it's good. What may be perceived as me being like upset. No, I'm humbled. I'm like, yeah, I'm taken back. That's the phrase. That's what I feel like I need to say. I don't know, dude. This is by far the most unique episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast to date. And I really do think that's not a joke. I'm not going to say, I know this is the one that I'm the most convicted about. I'm not even finished through discussing the intro. This is, I've never felt quite this way about anything we've discussed here. And as I was saying, because that's where I was, right? I was talking about coming home, and I knew it was just going to be huge, whatever I said. Because I was walking today and I was thinking about where I'm going to live and how I need to structure that around the dogs. I don't care. I don't get hyped up over things. I don't have hopes for things in my life. I don't care. I never had some goal of a career or... Dude, I don't, like... You don't gotta care either, but... Yeah, right? And so, this is such a weird... It's so weird to me. I don't even know how to explain this. I'm so used to things not making sense. I mean, I was walking past... Yeah, dude, I can't even finish a sentence. You know what? It's like I feel like I'm on my wedding day, and like my bride-to-be, right, is in front of my face, and I like don't have any words to say. That's how I feel right now. I'm only saying this because it's like I don't know what else to say, but this is supposed to be said. Like I don't know. Yeah, dude, I don't get this way. Like what? I almost want to use the phrase "this is pointless." That's how confused I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what's happening right now. And that's why I said earlier, like, God, what do people need to get from this? Am I really saying anything, right? It's how I'm feeling right now. Like, am I actually saying anything that's even helping or going to? And I keep putting my hands on my head like this. Like, I'm like, I don't even know. This is such a weird... Because I've been thinking about it. I've been seeing people training dogs. I'm like, no, I mean, I'm not going to be so much training dogs, but, well, because also, a big reason for that is the slogan for that fourth of the company, In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, is letting dogs stay natural. And naturally, a dog's not going to be trained the way that some dogs get really, really well trained. You know, I, yeah, because I was walking. Here's another thing. I keep going to the grocery store that I go to, and it's a cute little, like a neighborhood type grocery store. Yeah. The same company that I actually worked for 2+ years. Yeah. A few years back, but not the same location. And I keep going in there and I'll just stand in the dog food aisle. It's been that way for a few weeks. And I just kind of stand there and pray. Yeah. Which is interesting. Yeah. What's so funny is if people don't know God, then they hear somebody saying something like this and like, dude, what are you talking about? Right? And that's, yeah, time will tell because I don't even know fully why I'm saying what I'm saying right now. But I've been standing there because I love ice cream, vanilla ice cream, soft serve, love it so much. I eat a lot of that, just, like an ice cream cone. And so I'll go to the grocery store and I'll get an ice cream cone. I'll just be standing there in the dog food aisle just eating that. And I eat so slow, right? Ideally, keeping the food at the temperature of the body, because the body always is only at somewhere right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. You put colder or hotter food into it, and it has to work harder just to accept it, And I eat slow anyway. Let the saliva actually mix with all the food you place into your mouth. Don't swallow any air into the digestive system, right? The only way the body actually works, truly, undisputed. We talk about it in the Image Clothing Company. And so I'll just sit there and it takes 20+ minutes to eat an ice cream cone for me personally. And that's, I mean, and there's been not much that I've actually been looking at really with the dog food. It's kind of just like sitting there and praying about it. Again, I get it, and that's probably what people are going to get from this is like the unconventional way of how I'm discussing what I am. A lot of people don't understand how God works, and guess what? I'm one of them. The point is, his ways are not our ways. And I've ended up in such weird places in my life and physically, right? And had things happen in such roundabout, backward ways. And then I end up somewhere or something ends up happening from it. And the impact that comes from it was just like, what? Like that word surprise that I was saying. I said it a few times because that's how it is, right? But that's why I said it's like a surprise, like a gift, but I don't like surprises personally. But I felt good about it, right? And God is, well, there's that scripture, God talks to us about, it's yeah, Jesus Christ speaks in the Holy Bible and he says, so ye being evil, if you know how to give good gifts, then how much does a perfect heavenly Father know how to give good gifts, right? And so I feel like I've been surprised with something. I feel like I've been given a gift. And normally I don't like surprises by human beings giving them to me at all. I actually kind of almost reject them because I like people to be transparent and real, and surprises are secretive, even if it's intended to be a kind thing to do. That's how it is to me, personally, okay? You got a problem with that? Cool. But when God gives gifts, he gives perfect ones. I don't even know if we're going to say anything within this that's really going along with. Well, here, okay, this is the. Because I'll finish what I said, but let me say this, because, no, okay. I don't know. Maybe I won't say anything in this that even really goes along with the title. It's not going to end. But that's why I'm wondering. That word I used, expansiveness, of what it really is going to be with me breeding dogs. In the Image Clothing Company is here to stay. All four sides. Yeah, dude. Because that's funny. I feel like there's a lot of stories like that that we know of or have seen with people around us or have happened in our own personal lives for individuals that are listening to what I'm saying right now. It's those like last minute miracles, and something you never could have expected all of a sudden is the rest of your life, and it's so obvious that it couldn't have happened any other way, but it hit you blindly out of nowhere when it did, right? It's weird. Well, it's like how people talk about, people who are in just like a really good marriage, for example, and they say things like, yeah, I never expected myself or saw myself ending up with somebody like her, but man, I couldn't imagine my life without her. It's like that type of feeling, and right? I don't really know quite what that's fully about right now. Standard poodles, I know that. Purebred, dude. Like some proper dogs. This might be a very unpopular opinion, and I don't care. There's some mutts out there. And it's bad. I mean, there's so many health problems that come from stuff like that. There's a reason why there's a breed standard as far as something to uphold within each breed of dogs. Because it's artificial, right? Human beings selecting specific dogs and mating them together. Yeah, right? So, yeah. Weird. Weird meaning I get all close to the camera, like I'm comfortable in the discomfort of not quite understanding how I hear this, of how I deserve this, but I don't even know what's going on. Right? That's what I mean. God works in mysterious ways, and his ways are not ours. We're not going to understand a almighty being in this life fully. Yeah. Because I'm not looking to have some kind of pets. Yeah. The name Nita means grace. somewhere in some culture. I looked it up. Maybe the internet was just lying to me. And what's the internet, right? Whoever wrote that thing might have just been making something up. But that's what came up. Because I looked up that name knowing that that's what my first standard poodle is going to be named. And I don't even know quite what color she's going to be. Right? I never could have imagined myself sitting here talking about this. And this is life, right? The unexpectedness is when it's real. It's like that phrase that I came up with. I think I've said it. Oh, no, I'm not gonna. No, I've said it. I'm certain. On In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Yeah, because I used that. I said it one day. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't even finish my sentences, dude. Like, it's like I'm being stopped in a good way. But sometimes we don't plan things. Other times we think we do. Right? And that's how I feel right now. Like, not only, are things just gonna happen, but it's almost like this, like, well, there's scriptures about that, like an overflow of blessings, and like when there was that drought, and I think it was when the Israelites were in the desert, like in the, wandering through the desert and kind of lost, and they were waiting for a deluge of rain, which is, like a dump of rain, just a lot of it. And they saw a tiny little cloud in the distance. And then because there's a lot of scriptures about that where it's like what I said earlier about those last minute miracles, right? Like that 11th hour, right? I mean, because that's how God works. I mean, He comes in at the last minute when you never could have expected it to be the case. And He just kind of like changes the game, if you will. Yeah, man. The thing with the standard size poodle is I'm 6'2" tall, and I can pet that size of poodle without bending down at all. And there's a lot of benefits that come in so many ways that we'll get into deeply talking about on In the Image Clothing Company Dogs. It's I mean it's a decent sized dog, man. I mean it's pretty big. If I were to be sitting right here, I'm not saying this for any reason other than I'm very, 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 very strongly prompted to say it. And if I'm sitting right here and my dog that I just said will be named Nita, 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 if she's sitting right here, her head's gonna be pretty much the same height as mine. And I sit on the ground. Because, chair heights cut into the hamstrings. They're unnatural. They're just man-made. They never would have sat on something like that in the past until they became just commonly made at the height that they are nowadays. I don't really care about anything, dude. But yeah, right, it's those last minute miracles. And I felt like I've been in the last minute for the past couple years. Man. Well, when I was saying today when I was walking, yeah. I've never thought about what my life was gonna look like, dude. It didn't matter. I didn't care if there was a life that I even got to live past the point that I was in at that moment that I could be thinking about it. I didn't care, dude. I don't care about really anything. And now all of a sudden I know that I'm gonna be living in a place that's gonna be accommodating for the dogs. And that's the focus when it comes to looking for where I'm going to be, like, kind of, yeah, right? I mean, weird. This type of settling is such a beautiful, like, this is what I, so keep in mind the title, because this feels so right to me. I mean, I had some things in mind that I thought I'd be saying in this about the title, and I haven't said that those things that I was thinking might be said within this. And it's because I actually wrote that title down at least a week plus ago just in notes in this little device that I have. I love it, man. Watching shows like Wildlife Rescues. I always loved the zoo growing up. I love Africa. It intrigues me so much. And India. Yeah, I don't know. And the reason I'm saying those is like all that I just said feels like it correlates with standard poodles in the life of Evan Strong. When I say that phrase that I've said before, my gosh, dude. I said, I'd love to be shown how wrong I am. And even just if it's in the sense of thinking that maybe I know how things are going to unfold. And then, like, gosh, man. I never could have expected until very recently anything like this to do with dogs the way that we're going to. We meaning like me. I mean, regardless of who else is even along with the. Dude. I mean, I couldn't be more authentic about how I'm feeling right now. Standard poodles, man. Purebred. I feel like there's not all that many purebred dogs in a lot of cases nowadays. I see so many dogs and they don't seem right. You know, because we talk about the law of order, you know, and God's house, it's orderly. And, you know, everything gets restored to its proper and perfect frame when we get resurrected. And there's a way things are supposed to be. That's really what I was thinking about talking about. Yeah, I'm not trying to claim anything by any means, but just the extent of how huge all that I do personally, Evan Strong, with standard poodles, purebred, proper AKC registered, which is the American Kennel Club, like however they need to be registered in whatever time period or whatever, but like actual proper purebred standard poodles. I don't have some kind of like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes these type of things get said over somebody who just sort of really likes something and they've done a bunch of research on something they think is cool. That's not what this is by any means. There's like different types of gratitude, if I were to be explaining it. And the magnitude of the gratitude, I don't mean that to be some rhyme, but that I feel for this. And the only reason because I rhyme all the time, but I want this to be as real as I want it. I want to, okay? I want to be as clear on my end about how taken back I am by this. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that I don't know, dude. I've had some big experiences in life, and this, I don't know, dude. There's this, when I say the word conviction, brother, I'm physically uncomfortable. I just hit the guitar with my elbow. When I say I'm physically uncomfortable, it's because of the emotion that I am feeling. I mean, I'm physically comfortable in like a physical aspect, but it's coming through me. What I'm explaining here, I don't know. I want to make it so clear. I mean, I'm not doing this out of me. I'm not doing this trying to make something be something. Well, because there's one of these episodes, I think it was right around the number 100. Yeah. I think it was like 1 or 2 after that, I sat here and I cried over standard poodles, purebred dogs. I don't know, dude, the fullness of what all it's gonna look like. Because that's the thing. I've seen people who've dedicated their entire life to conservation of a certain species of animal, for example. And that's, yeah, I mean, like when animals are endangered, you know, on the brink of extinction. And you hear people say, like, because I've heard people say that phrase, they couldn't imagine themselves doing anything else. And it's like what I said earlier about it feels like that unexpected person you marry, and I could never imagine myself with anybody else besides this person, but I never imagined being with somebody like them. And I don't even know fully why I'm saying this kind of thing about this right now. But I've always admired people like that with a lifestyle and such dedication to something, because I never saw myself doing that. I don't really care about anything, because a lot of stuff is just something to choose to care about in this life, and there's so much of those things, so if you stay out of it all, you're more content. There's never been something that I've felt this way about. And I don't even know how to understand why I'm even saying this. Because to me, it's like, why does this even matter to say? There's this, oh, it doesn't even matter, a specific one, but gosh, dude, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like any kind of rescue place, or, man, I'm thinking about those like places that, they have people with, like mentally challenged people, for example, or yeah, similar things like that. And people have a place with horses, and they have the people come and they're able to ride the horses, and it's like a really, it's like, and like the word sanctuary is coming to me. And also, I talk about, just when I introduced In the Image Clothing Company dogs, I did quite a bit of discussion on how many different needs there are that dogs can fulfill. And poodles are one of the most common service dogs, standard poodles specifically. Okay. Yeah, rehabilitation. Like these type of words keep coming to mind. I guess we'll just see, dude. We meaning myself, whoever else cares, cool. But if you don't, cool. I don't know though. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know, meaning I don't understand it. I've never thought dude, I can't even finish a sentence, bro, about this. It's like when somebody does something so good for you that you know you don't deserve and you don't want to receive it, right? Because you know you're unworthy. So you're almost mad about it. How could you do such a good thing for me? Do you even know who I am, right? That's how I'm feeling about these standard poodles. People got all their opinions, but a mutt's a mutt. Such an intelligent dog breed. I'll say very, very, very clearly, I have so much excitement for what all this is going to bring. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't care, dude. I say that phrase so much. You know, there's that term, a diamond in the rough. Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about. Oh, man, dude. Because I don't care about anything, but there's just, I mean. And that's such a thing, too. I mean, I feel like some people sometimes just say words, but I mean it. I don't care about anything. In a good way. Like, I'm so content and stuff, but, like, I don't have things that I put my attention on. I mean, I'm more disgusted with things than anything else. Yeah. That's so weird, man, because darn it, dude. It's like, it makes so much sense that it doesn't make sense. That's how I would explain this. I feel like I relate to dogs a lot because there's a lot of places dogs aren't allowed. And they kind of live on the outskirts of things sometimes because they're forced to. I feel like that's how I am. I used to say this phrase, I feel like an outcast in my hometown. And that's what God says. I don't mean in any kind of prophetic way, but the scripture that's very similar to that comes to mind is a prophet isn't accepted in his home country. Well, there's something so special, right, about just bringing life onto the earth and being the one that's in charge of, the first few weeks of a new litter of puppies. And introducing them to this place that they just man. Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know how this is. Right? I mean, if I was trying to make this be something, it wouldn't look like this. By any means. And I don't mean only this episode. Because, yeah, this is definitely strange, but... Right? I mean... Well, I'm gonna wrap it up, and this is... I feel like the... Oh, man, dude. I don't know, brother. There's a level of, like... I want to use the word, like, finale. So there you go. I mean, I don't know. Gosh. Right. You ever heard that phrase, people saying a lot without using any words, you know? Yeah, because I couldn't, have any, dude, I don't even know, dude. Because some people just have dogs, man, and that's all right. You know, as long as you're treating them pretty well, you can have pets. That's not how it's going to be here. Man, all right, so we will have clothing available. I'm wrapping this up as it is, brother. In the Image Clothing Company clothing, when it comes made out of 100% natural materials, staying centered, fitting correct, and that's how we allow the human body to work. I didn't even finish the intro, and I'm not even going to. So check out the intros of the other videos that we have, and would show where clothing sits and stuff. I mean, how weird is that? Coming from me, if you know anything about what this is. Like, I don't know, dude. I never felt quite this way about anything. Such a unique way to feel about something. So there you go.